So, as you can tell from the thumbnail, you can tell from the title of tonight's show, man. We've kind of talked about this a little bit already, but we haven't kind of like pinned it to a particular player per se, because at the time when we talked about it, he wasn't committed. Because we talked about this about a week and a half ago, but he is committed now, and he's going to be QB1. And the last time we had a quarterback of this caliber, well, let's not say of this caliber, but a quarterback that has come of similar or somewhat near stature come in. Auburn had a successful season. And this actually came from a conversation I was having with somebody else that had nothing to do with this podcast. We was having a conversation about this, and they asked the question, do you think that Auburn could have a Cam Newton type 2010 season with Byrum Brown?
No.
And something just popped into my head when I had that, when that asked me, is I said, I think that'll be a interesting discussion and an interesting perspective from somebody just to have. And then the funny part about it is I was talking with Kendall earlier today, and Kendall said, Kendall asked, he was like, man, I'm telling you, what if? Basically that. And I was like, you know what, that confirmed it. So I want to ask y'all a question, man. I'm just literally gonna ask y'all a question, and I want to hear y'all thoughts on this, man. What is the ceiling with Byrum Brown at quarterback for Auburn? And I'm gonna set it up like this. You're talking about a quarterback that has been in the offensive system with Alex Golesh for 3 years. He's been in the system. He knows it. He understands it. He's brought all of the receivers that were with him for at least 2 to 3 years with him as well. You're seeing the offensive line of what could be the offensive line come together. You just got Cole Skinner, and you got the other Cole. Well, the two Coles, the starting center Cole, and then the other Cole from USF. Two kind of pieces. I think one of them has like over. I was reading. I think the center has like over 1,800, almost 2,000 snaps in college football reps, just college football play, and you're seeing what this offense has done ever since Alex Golesh has taken over at USF, and you're basically kind of just uprooting those guys and putting them into an Auburn uniform. But these guys know the system and they kind of know each other pretty well. So I'll just ask a question. I just want to ask a question. What is the ceiling for Auburn this upcoming season in 2026? Should and this kind of piggybacks on the show that we did on Wednesday as well. Should the level of expectation be higher than what we think it is? Because if I'm not mistaken, on that show, a lot of people said 6-7 wins on that show. Some people said it could go up to 8, and things of that nature. So I'll just ask the question. Bubba started the answer, so I'm gonna start with Bubba. Go ahead, Bubba. What you think?
Yeah, as far as the whole, can it be a 2010 season? Absolutely not. I don't see that at all. But as far as what the ceiling is, I'll start individually with the offense. This can be a top 20 group offensively because everything just fits so well together. You have a starting center with an incredible amount of experience. You went out, you got a left tackle that I think is very solid. Overall, the rest of the offensive line I don't feel great about, but the experience in the system with this tailback room and Byrum's fit in the system, this can be a top 20 group. Overall success for the season, I think, as far as with the schedule, I think the max you can expect is 9 wins.
The max is 9.
Yeah, that's because I don't think in tight games this team will perform well. Because you're guaranteed at least with any offense, at least one dud a year. And with this group and their overall not as high talent ceiling, probably 2 or 3 of those. And I don't think Auburn will be able to survive that.
Okay, so you're saying that even though they have chemistry together, you don't think the chemistry can overcome what some are saying is not as talented of a group of guys that has left, is what you're telling me.
No, I just think that just overall, any offense is going to have at least one dud. I
Okay.
think with this group, you're going to have 2 or 3 of those because you're going to get into a game where a team's going to be able to shut you down and slow you down. And this offense is not meant to operate in a slowed down, grinded out type of game.
Okay.
So in those games, you're expecting the defense to pick up slack, but you have a defensive group without a ton of experience, and you're replacing a lot. So I just think inevitably, at least 2, probably 3 games are just not going to go your way.
Okay. All right. So you're replacing a lot of okay. When you say let me make sure I'm saying this right. When you say that you're replacing a lot that doesn't have a lot of experience, on what side of the ball are you saying? Are you referring to a defense that would have to pick up the slack from an offense that would be slowed down, or are you referring to an offense that doesn't have much experience?
Well, I'm talking about the
What do you mean?
defense not having a ton of reps together overall, because you think of your
Oh, okay,
cornerback
so
group,
together. Okay, all right.
like
That's
Shamar Arnaud is ridiculously talented, but he's going
Yeah.
to be a true sophomore. Andre Jordan has not played with anybody on this group. You're replacing potentially an entire defensive line starter-wise, unless you get another year for Dallas Walker. So
Mhm.
I just think you're probably going to have a dud at some point, and it could even come in week 1.
Interesting. All right, Marcus, what's your thoughts on that?
I kind of wholeheartedly agree with Bubba. I think Bubba's being very truthful in his assessment. It's kind of realistic to think that we're going to go through those learning curves with a new coach and and new players. Right now, as constructed, looking at the O line, there's still a lot of question marks, and to think that that we all know that an O line is based off chemistry and basically games played. And I'm just trying to see who he brings in that's gonna have a lot of experience to fill those holes. Right now, he's doing a great job, but it's still an uphill battle, man. It's still a lot of holes to be filled. And it's just when you're doing an overhaul of a team like that, it's just it's gonna be some games that you're supposed to win that's very close that you end up dropping just because of experience and time played together. So it's just I love Bubbles of what he's saying, and I don't think that I think we putting too much in it that he gonna be Cam Newton.
No,
I
nobody
think
said he was going to be Cam Newton. I just said could Auburn have a season like the 2010 season that when Cam Newton was there?
I think a potential 10 wins is on the table if everything goes right, because you got to look at the chemistry that those guys have had playing with each other. But it's still like Bubba said, it's an uphill battle when you think about he has to get defensive pieces, he has to get an offensive line, he got to get depth. It's still a lot that he has to do before you can just really step that as a 10-win season. But we moving forward. I'm still here for it.
Okay. Mr. 21, your thoughts, man?
I got this thing anywhere from 6 to 8. I said 7. The answer to the question is a big N and a little no and a little O. Unless Jesus comes down during the season and gets on the team, or some kind of Disney fairy dust comes over the team. So, other than that. But there is going to be a lot of it's going to be some back and forth with some of these games, which may be kind of hard to call because it's a lot of first-year coaches, a lot of culture building within the SEC this year. So, don't know how this thing going to work out at LSU, Ole Miss, what they got going on, Vanderbilt.
Right.
So it's, Florida. It's who knows. So it's just like I said, a lot of first year head coaches going against each other. Anything can happen. I do agree with a lot of what Huggy said. They could come out here and lay a dud, or it could be a struggle or a struggle in crunch time. It can't be no worse than this past year. Cannot be.
Oh, it can get worse.
Cannot.
Well, we've been saying that for 3 years.
Well, we
Right.
have Mr. Golf Game out there, so
We haven't hit Chad Morris level bad yet.
oh wow.
Not quite.
So yeah, it's at least if they have the right culture set or something, they'll probably play a little bit better in that area, hopefully. Like I said, the stories that y'all talk about, it's not shocking that people don't know how to perform when it's time to perform. So that's all I got.
Okay.
My bad. Yeah, 6 to 8, there's levels to this. Go ahead.
We're not supposed to be saying the word levels. We're supposed to be saying stages. Stages. We don't say levels no more. Remember? That's what you. That was you. That was you.
No,
man.
the word is not banned yet. You already said it once already, so it's getting up there. So I'm just helping you.
Okay. All right. Shout out to C Hall, man. C Hall in the chat right here with us, man. We're gonna talk about that in a little bit. Talking about the portal or something, my guy. Ed, go ahead. Your thoughts.
Let me see. How many new coaches do we have that's on the schedule? 5, 6?
You have Florida, you have Ole Miss, you have
LSU.
LSU.
3.
Excuse me, I'm sorry. Those 3 right there for sure.
Arkansas makes 4.
Yeah, Arkansas will be 4. I forgot about Ryan Silverfield, Arkansas. Yeah, so Arkansas is 4.
So that's 4. That's 4 wins I could see. Alabama doesn't. I don't know. That game.
Alabama will be breaking in a new quarterback.
Yeah.
That's true.
They still got Deborah.
I say 7 with the additions that we got. I go from 7 to 9, maybe 10, because people don't realize one of the most important things in football is your quarterback center relationship. And you brought the center in that's been playing with him for the past 3 years. Plus, he also, you coached him. So you got the center coach quarterback relationship. All the rest of it could possibly fall in line.
Okay.
So with the running back room and from the film I've seen about the receivers, we could end up with 9, maybe 10.
Okay. All right. Ted, your thoughts, man.
I don't know, man. I guess I'm drinking the Kool-Aid because when you ask, can we have that type of season? Now,
that was the question. That was the question. It was meant to let people kind of, what's the word people use, bug a little bit. It wasn't will we, it was can we. That was the answer to the question.
If I had to give a prediction, it'd probably be different from what I'm about to say. But can we? Absolutely. Why not? Why couldn't we? I mean, you think about it. If you asked that same question about Indiana before the season started, everybody on this panel, everybody in the chat would have said, no, they're not finna go undefeated and be in the national championship. But they are. Right? The title of this episode is How Far Can Byrum Brown Take Auburn this season? Well, how far can Fernando Mendoza take Indiana in the season? All the way to the national championship. And not only is that happening on the Plains, it's almost a replica of what Kurt Cinetti did with JMU, bringing in all the talent that he had coached previously, people that had played a ton of snaps that know his system, brought in a quarterback that can operate his system. So, yeah, it could be that type of season. Now, Heisman Trophy winning and all the other jazz that went along with that season, now that's different. But yeah, absolutely, man. We can go out there and win every single game we play. And I'm not talking about from a talent standpoint, maybe so, but the only thing that gives me pause about this is these offenses don't operate very well in the red zone.
True.
We've seen that with Tennessee. We've seen that with everybody that runs this type of offense. Whenever there's a turnover or a pick, it's a pick six because that's just the way the offense is set up. There's a lot of passes behind the line of scrimmage and stuff like that. So that right there gives me pause. If there's a team that's able to stifle us from big plays and make us go march up the field and score in the red zone. They may give us some trouble and give us a bump along the way. But can we have an undefeated season all the way to a national championship? I don't see why not. We got just as good a chance as anybody else. I mean, like you guys just already mentioned all the coaching changes that's in the SEC alone, right? And then even the top of the SEC, I want you to think about this. With all the coaching changes that's going on in the SEC, who's at the top of the SEC right now? Georgia wet the bed. Ole Miss didn't look too, but they look good with Trinidad Chambers, but he may not get another year, so they may not be at the top of it. You got Texas, who's adding portal pieces, but we haven't seen it on the field yet. So it's like the SEC in itself is up for grabs, and we are getting in the pieces that this coach feels that he needs to make this offense a successful one. We have a defense that everybody in the chat and everybody on this panel would agree is a proven coach. I'm not as worried about the talent on the defense because I know that this guy can put together a product that gets better game after game after game. We've seen it. We've seen this defense get better as the season goes along. So I'm not really worried too tough about that. But man, can we? Yeah, we can. Now, will we is a whole different conversation. But can we? Oh, absolutely. In that, I would say that for a lot of these teams up here. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's not just Auburn. Like, you can go down the list and yeah, they can. You know what I mean? Like, it's a different day in college football. It's, you know, the traditional powers are at home right now watching football. Like, you know what I mean? So, like, yeah, talking about two transfer portal quarterbacks, first-year transfer portal quarterbacks playing in the national championship right now. So why not?